Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Have a, well, should I say happy? Well, have a safe Tuesday morning. We're still experiencing some rains due to Typhoon Enteng.
Na pinapalakas nga ng habagat.
Pinapalakas. And also we're watching for a possible storm behind Enteng na baka pumasok, but we're not sure yet kasi minamonitor pa ito ng Pag-asa. Ang dami pa natin pag-uusapan ngayon. We'll be updating you about what has happened throughout the night since yesterday.
Yung mga binahang lugar. Of course, we've also, unfortunately, may mga nabalitaan din po tayo ng mga namatay at nawawala pa rin. Flash floods sa May Rizal. Lahat po ng ating mga pag-uusapan ngayon mostly ay tungkol nga po dito sa
Bagyo, Typhoon Enteng. Okay, we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch. Starting our countdown with a list of suspended classes today due to Tropical Storm Enteng. All classes and government work in Metro Manila and Calabarzon are suspended today. Classes at all levels were also suspended in Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, as well as in Abra and Apayao. Pero take note po sa mga taga Baguio City, only preschool to senior high school classes were suspended. In Cagayan Valley, classes in Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, and selected towns in Cagayan were suspended as well. While in Central Luzon, there are no classes today in Aurora, Bataan, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, as well as in the towns of San Marcelino, Botolan, and Iba in Zambales and Olongapo City. Students will also stay at home in Rizal, Occidental Mindoro, and Naga City.
Oo, ano yan. Yesterday, at least medyo maaga-aga, no?
For today.
Yeah, for today, maaga-aga kasi utos ni PBBM yan. Well, speaking of suspension of classes, the Marcos administration vowed to announce the suspension of classes, as we were talking about a while ago, for the next day before they go to sleep. Now, mobile journalist Julie Baisa has this report.
President Bongbong Marcos ordered all concerned government agencies to issue early bulletins or advisories as to the suspension of classes and work due to bad weather. This is amid the onslaught of Tropical Storm Enteng.
We will see. We will try to give the bulletin as early as possible for work and school tomorrow. Ang instruction ko sa kanila, kung maaari, bago tayo matulog, alam na natin kung may pasok bukas o hindi, para makapag-adjust naman yung mga tao.
Marcos said this was important, especially for the workers who might get stranded due to the late suspension.
Sa trabaho naman, ang tinitignan lang namin ay kung makapunta yung mga empleyado natin, makapasok at makauwi. Importante makauwi. Kasi mahirap pag ma-stranded sila dun sa kanilang pinagtatrabahuan. So, that's what we are watching now.
The work in government was suspended at 8:30 a.m. yesterday. Meanwhile, the president assured the public that the government is monitoring the situation nationwide. Marcos said they are prepared for the possible aftermath of the tropical storm.
As usual, nag-forward placement na tayo ng mga pangangailangan. We will just have to wait for the weather to see what it will do. Hopefully, umiwas sa atin, but even if it does not, we have all the elements in place to support our people na magiging mahihirapan dahil nga dito sa naging bagyong Enteng.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC said that 2 people were reported dead as Tropical Storm Enteng battered the country. They were reportedly killed by landslide in Central Visayas due to the effects of the storm, while 10 others were injured in the same region. Mobile Journal Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
You know, I agree with this pronouncement of PBBM. Matagal na pinag-uusapan to. The apprehension kasi of some officials, local government officials, to declare suspension of classes early is because sabi nila baka kasi at a later time biglang gumanda yung weather, pero that's not the point. The point is at a certain cut-off, just like the US, at certain cut-off, if as of 6 o'clock hindi nag-improve ang weather, then you declare already just for safety purposes.
Totoo.
Because very minimal naman ang change pwede mangyari. Kahit lumihis, sabihin mong lumihis ang bagyo, na wala sa signal number 1, may effect pa rin yan. Oo.
Kaya kahapon yung mga government office, iba yung mga empleyado.
Yes.
8:30 na kasi yung iba talaga nakapagsabi. So yung iba, yung karamihan sa kanila, nakalabas na ng bahay, nabasa na ng ulan, at saka pa lang nila malalaman na wala palang paso.
Oo. Tsaka yung purpose yan is just to be safe.
Of
diba? If you be
course.
safe, karamihan dyan nangyayari noon, before you move on, quickly lang, pagpasok ng estudyante, tsaka sasabihin nun, suspended ang classes. Mahirap na for the
Parang
parents.
bata pa lang ako, yan na yung problema.
Hindi, isipin mo, mahirap ang parents to go out to pick them up sa bagyo. Tapos the students will have to travel again in that dangerous weather. But meron pa tayo.
Yes, of course, marami nagtatanong hanggang kailan ba dito si Bagyong Enteng. Let's get the latest on Tropical Storm Enteng.
Pag-asa forecaster Veronica Torres is joining us on the line regarding updates on Typhoon Enteng. Magandang umaga, Veronica.
Magandang umaga din po sa inyo dyan at sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Yes, Veronica, where exactly is Enteng right now and what areas are affected?
Currently, si Enteng ay nasa may coastal waters ng Lawag City as of 7 a.m. At yung mga areas na naapektuhan nga, may signal number 2 pa rin tayo. Ito yung pinakamataas na signal natin sa may Ilocos Norte, sa may northern portion ng Ilocos Sur, sa may Abra, sa may Apayao, sa may northern at western portion ng Kalinga, sa western portion ng mainland Cagayan, kabilang na ang Babuyan Island. Signal number 1 naman sa nalalabing bahagi ng Ilocos Sur, northern portion ng La Union, nalalabing bahagi ng Kalinga, Mountain Province, Ifugao, sa may Benguet, sa Batanes, nalalabing bahagi ng mainland Cagayan, nalalabing bahagi ng Babuyan Islands, northern at western portion ng Isabela at ang northern portion ng Nueva Vizcaya. Sa mga paulan naman ay 100 to 200 millimeters sa pag-ulan for today sa may Ilocos region at 50 to 100 na millimeters na pag-ulan sa may Cagayan Valley at Cordillera Administrative Region.
Sa iba pong lugar ngayon, tahimik po, no? Wala na mga pag-ulan. Pero syempre, we would like to know kung aasahan ba natin habang palabas ito ng bansa si Enteng, nalalakas pa ba? At syempre, kung kailan po ba talaga palabas itong si Enteng sa Philippine Area of Responsibility?
Opo. So, habang papalayo ng bansa natin si Enteng ay posible pa nga rin na maging maulan western section ng Luzon dahil pa rin sa habagat na nahihila nito. And then, posible na rin lumabas itong si Enteng na ating Philippine Area of Responsibility by Wednesday morning or tomorrow morning. And then, sa mga ulanin, kung dito sa Metro Manila, posible pa rin umulan hanggang Friday, pero hindi na kasing lakas nung katulad ng Monday. And then, weekend is improving weather condition po tayo.
Yes, Veronica, kahit palabas na itong si Enteng at makalabas na ito, will this still affect yung habagat that will bring about rains? And are we also looking at another weather system?
Apo, sa ngayon naman, pag palabas na ito, posible pa nga rin ito maka-enhance ng habagat. And sa ngayon naman, although wala tayong ibang namomonitor na weather system, hindi natin tinatanggal yung possibility na may ma-form na circulation northeast ng bansa natin. At kung may mabuong circulation sa area na yan, ay posible itong makahatak ng habagat. And then magpapaulan pa rin western section ng bansa po natin.
Miss Veronica, kasi po ng mga bandang 2:00 kanina, sabi nila medyo humina nga daw po itong si Bagyong Enteng nung siya ay papunta ng mga Cordilleras. Tapos nung mga banda sa may West Philippine Sea na siya medyo lumalakas din. What's the science behind that po?
Apo, dahil nga po dahil sa rugged terrain o dahil nasa land na siya, hindi nakakaikot na maayos yung bagyo natin and then dun humihina. Sa dagat kasi mas smooth yung circulation niya kaya nakakaipon ito ng lakas.
Okay, finally, Veronica, I'd like to ask, no, it's September already and of course, ang dami nagtatanong, do we expect yung temperature natin medyo lalamig na ng konti kasi amihan is just around the corner?
Apo, so possible pa nga rin tayo na during bare months na mas yung mga malamig na panahon, posible naman yung pagbaba ng temperatura. Although ang pinakamababa usually is during January, February.
Miss Veronica, para lang po meron tayong, kumbaga parang context, kung ano po talaga yung ginawa nitong Typhoon Enteng sa atin. As pagkumpara po sa Typhoon Karina, mas madami po bang ulan na inilabas itong si Typhoon Enteng or mas konti? Your explanation on that po.
Apo, so check pa din natin yung mga makuha nating data. Although nung mga nakaraang araw, nung September 1, yung consolidated nating rainfall ay nakita natin mataas yung paulan sa may bandang eastern part ng Southern Luzon area. Mga Camarines Norte ay yung nakatala nung nakaraan ng mataas na pagulan. Although yung mga sumunod naman na araw, titingnan natin kung ano yung naging pinakamataas, and then medyo magkaiba din kasi sila ni Karina. Itong si Enteng napakalapit sa landmass natin. Si Karina naman ay medyo malayo po. Pero grabe yung hatak niya ng habagat.
Ayun. Alright. Sige, patuloy po kaming makikipag-ugnayan sa inyo. But for the meantime, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Veronica Torres, ang ating Pag-asa forecaster.
Salamat po.
Okay, let's move on. Ranking 8th in our countdown, Meralco assured its customers that its personnel are on alert amid the onslaught of Tropical Storm Enteng. Meralco Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications, Joe Saldarriaga, said they are ready to respond to any electric troubles 24/7. He also said there is no need to cut the supply of electricity in areas affected by the flood. Meralco customers experiencing power troubles may reach the company through the numbers flashed on our screen. Meralco and One News under Signal are part of the MVP group of companies.
All right, coming up, Education Secretary Sani Angara presents his agency's proposed budget for 2025. Meron bang confidential funds?
And several areas were flooded due to heavy rains caused by Tropical Storm Enteng. Ano-anong lugar ang napuruhan?
Alright, nagsisimula pa lang tayo. We're just getting started, mga kapatid. Marami po tayong pag-uusapan. More of our top 10 news when brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning! You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Sa mga nagtatanong, nasa daw tayo sa FB. Antayin nyo po.
Oo.
Pero YouTube muna kayo.
Oo.
Kaya siyempre sa Signal
In the meantime,
TV
YouTube, either way naman, easily
Signal Play
accessible.
app,
Yeah,
diba?
madaming ways to
Signal
watch us.
channel.
All right, let's move on.
Now, on our 7th spot, Filipino Paralympian Ernie Gawilan placed 6th in the men's 400-meter freestyles S7 finals. Gawilan clocked 5 minutes and 3 seconds, concluding his Paris Olympics campaign. Prior to that, he recorded the 3rd fastest time in the heats, posting a little over 5 minutes. He is the 3rd Filipino to exit the games after para-archer Agustina Bantilok and para-taekwondo Jane Alain Ganapin. Congratulations
Siya
pa
lang
rin.
kay Ernie, si Ernie lang ang both legs niya cut off, di ba?
Oo. Siya nga daw yung may pinaka kumbaga disadvantage.
Pero
sa
kita mo
grupo
naman,
niya sa S7 category.
He's still at par with them
Oo.
because napakalaki ng upper body niya, lakas ng upper body strength ni Ernie.
And if you can see, yung ibang kalaban niya medyo matatangkad eh. So pagka nung unang jump nila talagang medyo malayo na sila from Ernie. Pero sinasabi nga nung announcer when we were watching it last night, diba? Sabi niya, watch out for Ernie Gawilan. Kasi before this, tulad nung nabanggit ko kanina, nag-third pa siya eh. Diba? 5:01 yung time
sa
niya
heat,
eh.
sa
Oo,
heat.
sa heat.
And
Kaya
plus,
siya nakapag-advance dito sa finals.
He is a gold medalist sa Asian
gold
Paralympics.
medalist siya.
Oo. Tsaka
Congratulations pa rin.
Considering the amount of subsidy and the money that's being given to them for practice na is very little.
Oo.
Ang galing nila talaga.
Congratulations.
Win or lose, no problem
Of
yan.
course, we're very proud of them. And of course, abangan pa rin natin yung iba pa nating mga kasama dyan sa Paralympics sa Paris na magkukompete pa.
Yeah, oo.
Pero nonetheless,
Meron pa ba
we're
tayong
very
abangan?
proud of.
Meron pa. Meron pa, no?
Mga 3 pa yan.
Okay, let's move on. Next in our countdown, Naga City is now under a state of calamity due to Tropical Storm Enteng. This comes after heavy downpours submerged most villages in the city. Following the declaration, Naga can now utilize Calamity Fund for quick response measures. The Office of Civil Defense says some 1,300 families in Bicol were displaced. Grabe nangyari niya sa Naga, no? 1,300 families displaced dahil sa mostly affected sila ng baha eh.
Oo. Laki talaga, kahit naman sinabi kanina ng weather forecaster natin na si Veronica Torres, marami rin talagang tubig ang ibinuga nito. Plus, of course, sabi nga may mga lumalabas din ngayon ng mga sinasabi na nagtataka pa kayo ba't bumabaha eh.
Yes.
Ang dami talagang mga kagubatan natin ang nakakalbo na. And of course, yung mga drainage system, not just here in Naga, but also, di ba, yung NCR, ang dami mga nagbabaha. And we also saw, for the first time again, si former Vice President former Vice President Lenny Robredo doon sa Naga. Yan ang niya eh. 'Di ba, baluarte niya yan na tumutulong doon sa sa area niya.
Lenny Duterte sana sasabihin ko.
Sobrang nasanay na lagi si
Sara Robredo, Lenny Duterte. Baliktad. Hindi. Pero umiikot-ikot siya kasi nakalimutan ko tuloy.
Pero kasi we would like to talk to somebody there, di ba? Mamaya pag-usapan natin sa Office of Civil Defense later on po. Abangan nyo po yan. Kasi alamin natin yung update, ilan ba? Di ba? As of now, kasi 1,300 families.
Of course, we want to get the count we want to get the count also sa evacuation centers. Aside from that.
Ano yung mga kailangan ng mga kababayan natin doon? As of
Tsaka
now, are the roads are clear? 'Di ba? Para sa mga dadaanan, para sa mga kailangan i-rescue pa, kailangan bigyan ng ayuda. Yes, Jago.
Kaya mo na lahat yan?
No, I'm just telling you kasi hindi pa ako
lightening up lang. Kasi sorry, hindi ko mo kinakat. Puputok na naman ugat mo eh.
Hindi, go.
Yan, kung may Typhoon Enteng, may Typhoon Angela.
Hindi. Pero ayun sige, mamaya pag-usapan po natin tulad ng nabanggit ko, alamin natin kung ilan ba talaga ngayon yung na-displace na family doon, magkano yung 'di ba, yung damage na ginawa ng bagyong Enteng doon sa kanilang area.
I think tsaka na yung estimate nun dahil hindi pa tapos yung bagyo. They'll estimate it pag clear ng weather.
Of course, yung Mount Mayon, 'di ba? Alam ko may mga banta pa rin doon. But later on po abangan niyo po yung magiging interview natin doon sa Office of the Civil Defense sa Naga. But for the meantime, let's continue with our countdown. Moving over now to our top 5, heavy flooding was also reported in several parts of the Metro Manila due to Tropical Storm Enteng. Among those greatly affected were areas in the southern part of Metro Manila, specifically in Parañaque. Flooding in Barangay San Isidro reached near chest level, while some vehicles were nearly submerged in the flood waters. Raging flood waters were also reported in Las Piñas, particularly in Barangay Alon 3. Vehicles on the Alabang exit of the South Luzon Expressway also had a hard time moving due to the floods. Meanwhile, the Marikina River water level rose to second alarm, but it has since receded. According to the Marikina LGU, their damages or their drainages can no longer keep up with the amount of rains these days.
At nakita natin, iba na yung new normal. May new normal talaga ngayon. At iba na yung lakas ng buhos ng ulan. Kaya nakikita natin, kailangan i-rehabilitate yung ating drainage system. Talagang nakikita natin. Hindi na tugma doon sa lakas ng buhos ng ulan at yung tubig na dumadaan sa mga system drainage natin. Actually, the volume is just too much. And yung design kasi ng sewages natin, medyo outdated na. It was meant to accommodate the volume of water decades ago. We are now facing climate change. So, iba ang buhos ng ulan ngayon.
And we've seen a lot of pictures nga, di ba, pinag-uusapan natin kagabi pa, tsaka on the way here. Yung mga nakakalbo na nakagubatan na supposedly dapat, yun ay sasalo, di ba, dun sa mga tubig
And
ulan.
actually,
pero
yung isa pang pinupuntirya yung supposedly pag-iiba ng terrain ng Sierra Madre.
Yes.
Di ba? Kasi they attempted to make a dam somewhere there sa Sierra Madre na if they do that, mawawala yung line of defense natin against incoming storms because Sierra Madre greatly alters the strength of a storm. Dahil hindi nakakahigop daw ng lakas ng isang bagyong pumapasok, dahil sa terrain ng Sierra Madre. So sana alagaan din natin yan. Plus, kung the way we destroy basins, catch basins, watersheds, so lahat ng tubig bubuhos talaga sa Metro Manila.
Tsaka yung ginagawa sa Marikina rin, di ba, they do yung mga dredging activities. At some point, kailangan nila talagang i-maintain lang yung dredging activities. Otherwise, talagang gayan. Aaapaw at aapaw.
That's the best naman
Tapos meron
talaga.
ka pang isang politician ngayon, si Congressman Salcedo, na sinisisi yung pag-asa. Instead na, alam mo yun, let's move forward, ayusin natin yung mga kailangan ayusin ngayon, yung mga kababayan natin na baha. At sinasabi niya ngayon sa kanyang Facebook page na kulang daw sa warning ang pag-asa. Pero I don't think naman na nagkukulang ang pag-asa.
Actually,
Kasi Friday pala, I remember, di ba? Meron silang mga warnings sa binigay.
I don't think naman, I mean, at least from my perspective, he can say that because we've witnessed the way since weekend pa lang, the way Pag-asa has been coming out with bulletins naman. And we were informed, siguro ang titignan nila yung response ng isang LGU and how do they respond to the messaging of Pag-asa.
Totoo.
Yun ang tignan natin, di ba? How do they receive the warning? Maybe the line of communication from Pag-asa to LGU ang problema, but it's not Pag-asa itself. It may not be also LGU itself, but it's what happens in between. That is the...
Ang tanong dyan, kapag nagre-release sila ng report, binabasa ba ng maayos? Are they familiar with the words, yung terminologies ng
Or for
Pag-asa?
example, nagre-release kasi Pag-asa every 3 to 4 hours may bagong bulletin yan
Meron kasi silang dyan yung standard na may term sila dyan na ginagamit. Hanapin
Hindi, ang
ko,
question kasi dyan, kunyari nag-release ang Pag-asa kasi ang bagyo nag-change yan anytime What if nag-change ang bagyo ng 12 or 1 o'clock ng umaga? Nag-release ang Pag-asa ng bulletin ng 12 or 1 ng umaga. Sino sa LGU ang tatanggap? Kasi tulog naman lahat. Yan ang patitignan.
dapat yung mga
yan
disaster
ang
management
titignan nyo
nila hindi
rin.
natutulog lalo na kapag kami paparating na bagyo.
Oo. Tsaka huwag nyo hihintayin si Mayor gumising sa umaga bago gumawa ng desisyon. Dapat may designated risk taker dyan, yung mag-a-approve na kung may klase ba o hindi, ano yung areas na kailangan ayusin kahit gabi.
Totoo. Hinahanap ko yung yung sinasabi nila yung par by 5 rule, something like that.
Medyo technical yan.
Technical yun. Kumbaga
Technical
parang
yan.
sinasabi nila, yun yung standard na sinusundan naman nila.
Basta ang importante is how the LGU responds to the messaging regardless of time. Minsan kasi hihintayin pa si Mayor gumawa ng announcement, sana may usually naman sa ibang...
Usually, may disaster management ang lahat ng...
But yung final approver kasi is done by the PIO, di ba? Yung Office of the PIO, which has to be approved by the Mayor. But they should...
Hello, alam naman natin kung kailan lagi ang tag-ulan dito sa Pilipinas. So dapat pa lang, 'di ba? Hindi pa tag-ulan, dry season, naghahanda na tayo.
Kasi itigil na natin yung kalakaran na titingin sa labas sa bintana. Si Mayor minsan 4 ng umaga titingin, wala namang nakitang ulan, hindi magka-cancel, hindi po ganoon 'yon. The mere fact na may bulletin ng Pag-asa.
Marunong ka pa sa Mayor
The mere fact na may bulletin ng Pag-asa means that may nakikita sila within the next 3 or 4 hours.
Actually, to be fair naman, yung mga LGU, wala pa naman akong narinig sa kanila na nagsabi na nagkulang. I remember lang
For this time,
this
time
ang
wala
narinig
nagkulang.
ko pa lang na nagre-reklamo si Congressman Salcedo. Okay, sige. Preno muna tayo sa usapin ng weather. Punta muna tayo sa iba pang mga topic for today.
Ito, ongoing saga to on the 4th spot. It's about the Quiboloy saga. A legal expert explained that the implementation of the arrest warrant against Pastor Apollo Quiboloy has no time limit. Former Integrated Bar of the Philippines President Domingo Cayosa told Storycon that an arrest warrant has no deadline. This is especially if there is a reasonable basis to believe that the subject of the warrant is on the premises. The police has been looking for Quiboloy in the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City for the last 10 days. Cayosa also said the police can use equipment that would help them locate the fugitive pastor.
Hindi naman tinuturo o kaya binibigay sa kanila ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ authorities yung mga susi o yung daanan. So they are authorized to use reasonable means, even reasonable force, to effect the warrant of arrest.
So countdown natin, 10 days na O, 10
Wala
days
pa rin.
na, no? Wala pa rin. At nakaka-50% na daw. According to PNP Davao, yung mga nandoon, nakaka-50% na
Well,
sila pagdating sa pag-search doon sa 30 hectares na pag-aari ng KOJC.
Kala ko they're focusing na lang on that basement, but they're still looking siguro at other avenues. Pero I'm inclined at this point, I'm inclined to partially believe VP Sara na baka wala na yon.
Ako, umpisa pa lang, sabi ko sa'yo, wala na yan.
Hindi sa langit, wala na yan. Kasi alam mo minsan, yan ang ugali ng mga ibang politicians, they've done it na yung pag may kasong parating, biglang nawawala na, di ba? Tatakas sila.
Pero ang sinasabi kasi ng PNP, meron silang informant, no? Informants nga madami, no? At nagsinasabi nila na nandoon pa daw. And yun nga, may meron silang signs of human life based doon sa kanilang detector, underground facility, kaya hindi sila tumitigil o hindi sila nawawala ng pag-asa. Alam nila nandoon pa.
I don't doubt naman may informant, but yung integrity ng informant ang titignan mo. Kasi pwedeng, these are smart people, di ba? If they want to leave, to evade facing justice here in the Philippines, it's so easy for them to do that. Di ba? Kasi medyo wala for him siguro, wala siyang tiwala sa justice system. So, pwedeng sabihin niya sa informant, double informant. O sabihin mo, nandito ako.
Tandaan mo, there's 10 million reward ang makapagtuturo.
At saka yung reminder, yung 10 million reward is you don't need to capture or even makipagsalamuha sa taong hulihin. All you have to do is give the information that will lead to the arrest. Pag yung information mo holds true and credible at naaresto si Apollo Kibuloy dahil sa info mo, may 10 million ka.
Dapat makapagtuturo at talagang mahuhuli, di ba? Yun baka mamay tinuro lang pala.
Hindi nga. If you're
wala pala.
Yun nga sabi ko.
Oo nga. Inulit ko lang. Gusto ko lang ulitin. Pero hindi 10 days na tulad nga sinabi ko kahapon, importante as much as possible na pabulaan na naman yun through to News 5 correspondent na si Bril Montalvo na hindi naman daw doon nagko-command center sa mismong prayer facility.
They don't need to because they already have that Region 11 office sa kabila.
Kasi nga, di ba lumabas nga sa social media yun. And I was saying here yesterday also na pagdating naman dyan sa mga aspeto na yan, syempre, ipakita pa rin natin, di ba, na yung ginagalang natin yung human rights and of course, prayer, nila yan, prayer please, di ba? Bigay natin sa kanila yon, galangin natin.
May updates tayo. Let's about Bicol Region, may kakusapin tayo. Yes. We have with us Office of the Civil Defense, Bicol spokesperson Gremil Alexis Naz on the line. Magandang umaga po.
Hello sir, hello ma'am, magandang umaga po.
Okay, let's get right to it. Kamusta po ang panahon dyan? May mga lugar pa rin ba na lubog sa baha?
Dito po sa amin sa Kabikulan, gumaganda na po ang panahon. Specifically, our station po dito sa Legazpi City, Albay, na medyo mainit na rin po ang panahon. But for the number of flooded na incidents po, flooding incidents na ongoing po, meron pa rin pong 102 still reported na flooded pa pong mga lugar dito po sa Kabikulan. But we're hoping po by the lunchtime ay dumating na rin po yung reports na nag-recede na po ito or nag-subside na po.
Meron na po ba tayong datos doon po sa kung ilan po yung mga napaulat na nawawala and of course, unfortunately, yung mga napaulat po na nasawi dahil nga po dito sa bagyo na ito?
May mga nakakarating po sa aming information for casualties pero hinihintay pa po namin yung official reports po from the local government unit para mai-send po namin na na-validate po ito on the ground na talagang Enteng related po yung fatalities. And for the missing naman po, meron din po sa aming nakarating na information pero hinihintay lang din po namin yung official report ng missing fishermen dyan po sa Camarines Norte.
Ito pong napabalita na over 1,300 families na displaced dahil nga po dito sa bagyong Enteng. Sila po ay nasa evacuation centers, tama po ba?
Yes po ma'am. 2,073 families as of yesterday.
Okay.
And kamusta po sila doon? Ilan po ba yung evacuation centers natin na nailaan para po dito sa mga biktima po ng bagyo?
Sa ngayon ma'am, wala naman pong nakakarating po sa amin na any negative na mga concern dun sa mga iba't ibang evacuation centers. Nasa 101 po yung current evacuation centers na ginagamit po natin ngayon dito po sa Kabikulan. And kasama po natin lokal na gobyerno at ang DS.
Yes, sir. Can you repeat that po? Medyo nawawala po kayo. Hello? Spokes? Spokes, na-mute po ata kayo? Hello, Spokes? Oh, for
Or
those who
even,
just tuned in,
yung
ating
signal
kinakausap
siguro.
po natin kanina ay spokesperson ng Office of the Civil Defense sa may Bicol region,
we have with him back on the line.
Gremil Alexis Nas. Yes, sir.
Yes po, ma'am.
Go
Sorry
ahead.
po, naputol po yung line. Bali po yung mga nasa evacuation centers po natin, 101 na evacuation centers. Kasama naman po natin dyan ang iba't ibang LGUs and DSWD Field Office 5 na nagbibigay po ng tulong.
And of course, Spokes, we'd like to ask, sa dami ng family, are we also watching out po for possible outbreaks po ng leptospirosis? Of course, every time kasi may baha, ito po ang nagiging mga issue.
Yes po sir, definitely ang ating mga local health offices din po ay nakatutok together with the local DREAM offices na sana hindi naman po magkaroon ng ganong mga outbreak po.
Yes po, I'd like to ask pala, no, kasi we're already approaching, palabas na po si Typhoon Enteng. Do you already have a rough estimate po sa laki ng pinsala na iniwan ni Enteng sa lugar nyo?
Sa ngayon po sir, wala pa po kaming estimate po. But for the latest na nakapag-report po sa amin, in Mobo Masbate po, merong worth 200,000 pesos worth of local infrastructure na na-damage po ni Enteng. 2 flood control at 1 tulay. We're just waiting po for the reports din po na magagaling sa agriculture and fishery sector kung meron pong damages din po or losses.
And tanong ko lang din po kung kamusta naman po yung supply ng kuryente at tubig po dyan po sa inyong area?
May mga ibang munisipyo pong nagulat ng kanilang power interruption or power outage, pero yung ating mga kasamahan naman po sa mga electric cooperative po ay ginagawa po ang kanilang makakaya para ma-restore po agad ito. Sa water naman po, may mga ilang barangay na nakapag-report, pero sabi naman po ng mga local DREAMOs ay restored na rin naman po ito.
Okay, balikan ko lang din po yung usapin po ng health kanina. Nabanggit po natin yung leptospirosis. But right now din po kasi we're also monitoring yung pagpasok po ng Mpox, no, sa iba't ibang lugar dito sa ating bansa. How do we make sure po that dito po sa mga evacuation centers natin ay sumusunod po, no, yung mga families po natin na nandoon sa standard health procedures for health guidelines?
Nag-inform din naman po kami ma'am nung aming regional PIDRA meeting na i-maintain pa rin po natin yung mga health standards and specifically isama na rin po natin yung para po dito sa Mpox. Pero dito po sa Kabikulan wala naman po sa aming reported. Pero reiterate lang po ng aming director, si Director Claudio Eliucot, na dapat pa rin po nating sundin kung ano yung mga i-recommend po ng DOH to ensure na wala pong mga cases na lumabas po.
So far po, yung mga kakailanganin nyo po o kailangan nyo po dyan sa inyong area, kamusta naman po yun?
So far ma'am, wala naman po sa aming nakakarating na any major needs so far. Pero ang rin-recommend pa rin naman po ng aming mga LDRIMOs, local government units, if may makapagbigay po ng additional family food packs or makakain ng mga evacuees, ay mas maganda po din na makapagbigay ng tulong.
Meron na rin po ba tayong target date na kung saan po pwede natin mapabalik yung ating mga families doon po sa kanilang mga tahanan o yung mga talagang totally displaced, mga nawalan ng tahanan dahil nga po sa baha? Your plans on that po?
Ang recommendation po ng ating regional chairperson ay yung ating mga local DRM offices po ang mag-assess since may mga specific na mga lugar po na talagang binabaha, may mga baha pa po and sila dapat sir ay ma'am ang makapag-assess po nito since each locality is unique po on their hazards.
Yes, I'd like to ask din po, Spokes, about yung areas around Mayon, no? Kamusta po ang sitwasyon doon?
Thankfully po ay wala naman pong nai-report na lahar flow incident kahit na nagpalabas po ng advisory or warning po si Pag-asa and PVOX about the possible lahar flow po around Mayon. But thankfully po, mabuti naman po at wala naman pong nangyari.
Right, thank you for that update. We'll keep in touch po. That was OCD Bicol spokesperson Gremil Alexis Nas on the line. Okay, let's move on to the next.
Coming in at our top 3, DepEd says there was no official record of payment for the making of the Isang Kaibigan storybook of Vice President Sara Duterte. Here's the report.
Education Secretary Sani Angara presented the agency's proposed 790 billion peso budget for 2025. Among the issues raised by senators was the role of DepEd in Vice President Sara Duterte's book, Isang Kaibigan. Angara says the agency, previously under Duterte's leadership, did not officially pay illustrators.
They are employees, yes, but there is no payment made to them for whatever they did. So it's either they made it gratis or for free, or they were paid on the side. We don't really know because there's no record of official payment to them.
Angara was also asked if he will request confidential funds like what then Secretary Duterte did before.
No, Your Honor, Madam Chair.
Maybe no po, bakit hindi? Ibig sabihin po ba ay hindi na nakikitaan ito ng purpose to continue and fulfill DepEd's objectives?
Yun ho, kasama ho yun. Siguro hindi na rin hiningi nung predecessor namin for the last year and for 2024, if I'm not mistaken, wala rin po. So, and given that it is engendered, medyo naging controversial siya. Mabuti na rin umiwas ho, siguro, Your Honor. At hingin na po yun sa line item kung may mga pangangailangan po ang departamento.
Around 11 billion pesos was allocated for DepEd's computerization program in 2023, but only around 2 billion pesos were used, amounting to just 19% utilization rate. As a result, only 1 computer is available for 9 students and another one for 30 teachers.
Gulat ako na 4 years old na pala yung mga gamit doon. Since 2020 pa po yung mga kagamitan doon. So, we contacted the Air Force and others to help us remove. There are over 1.5 million items still in Carmona and other warehouses. Laptops, books, furniture.
Angara said they will also prioritize the purchase of supplies for students.
Inputs, inclusive education.
Alam naman natin ang DepEd ay isa yan sa mga may pinakamalalaking budget na
importante
sa ahensya
kasi
ng gobyerno natin.
It's a very critical agency to the development of our future and also our economic future. And ngayon, napupuntiryan nila lahat ng the way spending habits ng DepEd for the last 2 years.
Actually, nagde-date back pa to 2020 yung mga nakita nila, mga 4 years old na daw ng mga kagamitan.
Pati yung
learning materials, computers.
Pati yung Nutriban na may amag daw, tsaka may mga insekto na na-distribute. Ang sayang. Tapos meron daw ibang Nutriban na hindi po pasok sa specification because yung required weight ng isang bread, hindi daw umabot sa weight niya, mas maliit. Parang nagdipid daw ang supplier.
Supposedly, kaya nga may Nutriban para sa mga, ano, di ba, nutrition ng mga bata.
Parang question is, bakit hindi nakita to ng previous DepEd?
Exactly.
Ngayon nakikita ni...
Tapos ngayon, yung computerization program ng DepEd, di ba? We see some of the teachers sa mga iba't ibang mga areas natin na, ano ba yun, yung naghahati lamang sila, naghihiraman sa mga computer.
The ratio is 30 teachers to 1 computer.
Oo, naghihiraman sila. Tapos here you are, you have several laptops, maraming laptops sa warehouse na bubulok
Basta
lang.
yung context po, 30
gosh.
teachers share 1 laptop. Yan ang current sa education system natin. Diba? So you do the math. Anyway, don't go away because we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News and we'd like to spend time to say hello to our viewers. Some Pokemon Go.
Naman, would like to spend some time to say hello to our viewers.
Okay, sige. Anuhin mo na naman ako.
O sige, go. Bati mo na.
Good morning daw from Some Pokemon Go. Cheryl De Leon. Asa na daw yung flood control? 5,500.
Tama. Hindi natin nabanggit yan kanina.
Oo, si Emilio Sabadera. Wag na. May init ang ulo nila. Kalma lang tayo.
Si Gabby de la Cruz. So, nakakatawa po kasi, tsaka sila Alex Fuentes, yung mga viewers natin, talaga nakiki-engage sila doon sa ating mga usapin dito sa mga nangyayari sa ating bansa.
Sumasabay din sila sa init ng ulo.
Oo, relax lang kayo. Batiin ko lang din yung mga nandito sa YouTube natin, si Jeff, kasi sabi nila hindi daw na po kumpleto yung araw nila, hindi natin binabati. Of course, si VJ, si Geraldine Balolong, si Mark Santiago, Daisy Cancio, Gary Co, may maisog pa dito, Ronald Maxtay, hello, si Leonie Valdezotto, Si Migs Ebron, of course. Si Summer Cabrera.
Si
Sam Pokemon.
Kaya pala.
Oo, si Gary Field, si Ken Makulit, si Harry, si Julius Manalo, sino pa? Yan, marami sila. Si Ralph Domingo.
Oy, last na, tsaka si brother Bartolome, tsaka yung sister niya si Barbie. Good morning, good morning. Let's move on. Ranking second in tropical storm Enteng's is about tropical Enteng's impact in the country. Now, 2 people were reported dead due to the onslaught of the tropical storm. The National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, or NDRRMC, said these 2 reported deaths are still being validated. 10 individuals were injured from the incidents caused by Enteng. Over 1,800 families nationwide were affected by the weather. Around 1,200 of them are currently in evacuation centers. To give us an update, we have Office of Civil Defense Director Edgar Posadas on the line.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for having me in your program, sir.
Siyempre, meron na po ba kayong datos kung tumaas na po ba yung bilang ng mga confirmed death po dahil nga po dito sa bagyong Enteng? At kung may datos din po kayo dito sa mga sugatan o yung mga nawawala?
Apo, i-address ko po muna yung palagi tinatanong nga po na casualty. So, ang nakalagay po sa latest heat rep namin ay 10 po, no? 10 deaths. And then, 10 rin po yung, meron din pong injuries plus missing. Ano po. So, ang, hello?
Yes po, go ahead po.
Sir.
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Yes. And then, but of course, these are still for validation po. No? Doon sa CITRAP po natin kanina, as of 8 a.m., we have 10 deaths. And then, yun po ang latest natin. Pero, as I said po, since we are validating, sometimes baka mahanap natin na buhay or hindi naman po related doon sa Enteng or sa habagat, then nababawas po yun. But suffice to say that in our latest CITREP sa Operation Center ng Office of Civil Defense, kasi I've been mentioning po, sometimes 12 siya, meron ding 13, pero for now po, siguro ilagay lang muna natin doon sa 10 na naka-record doon sa ating situational report.
Okay, at least that's cleared po. But I know we're still dealing with Typhoon Enteng and paalis pa lang siya. But do we already have an estimated cost of damage to property and agriculture?
Sir, sa infrastructure pa lang, medyo mababa pa po ito. And then sa Region 5, we just noted po, 200,000 pa lang ito. But since yung mga nag-responde po kahapon are still responding and maybe pagka ngayon they're trying to assess already, then maybe in the next few days we'll have a better picture po on the cost of the damages for both the infra and agriculture.
Yes.
So suffice to say, sir, that it's 200,000 muna for Region 5 alone.
And also, kamusta na po yung situation with regards to communication lines, water facilities? Kasi usually po, pag nagbabaha, naapektuhan po yung water facilities natin and yung lines of communication.
Tama po kayo. Ang nakalagay lang naman po dito, meron pong isa lang po sa Region 5 yung affected yung communication lines. But I'm sure this has been already repaired, sir. We have 19 canceled flights. We have 54 po no, na road sections affected in CAR, Regions 3, Calabarzon, and 5. And we have 8 out of 19 po na may power interruption. 42% were already restored.
Okay.
And meron po tayong 3 water supply interruptions sa Calabarzon and Region 5, sir.
Oh, thank you for that.
Opo, Director, yung ano po, meron po ba tayong update doon po sa may bandang Rizal kung saan po may mga napaulat din po ng mga namatay, na biktima po ng mga landslide, flash floods?
Opo, kausap po natin kahapon, ma'am, si RD Alvarez ng OCD Calabarzon. At nga po, patungkol doon sa tinatanong ninyo about the casualty, no? Kahapon po, yun doon po kami nakapagtala. According to him, meron pong 8 na for validation sa probinsya po ng Rizal.
And tanungin ko na rin po kung meron po kayong datos ng mga pamilya po, mga nasa evacuation centers po.
Okay, ma'am. Sa ngayon po, no, as of kaninang umaga po, we have out of the 62,959 na mga pamilya po affected, or 240,418 na mga individual, 12,024 families po are inside evacuation centers, or 49,051 individuals. Ito po ay dito sa NCR, Region 3, Calabarzon, Region 5, Region 6, Region 7, and Region 8. Meron din po tayong datos, of course, sa mga pinili nila not to stay in evacuation centers but, stay with their friends and relatives. And we cater to their needs as well, ma'am.
Kanina po natanong din po namin ito dun sa nakausap po namin sa Civil Defense sa Maynaga. But overall po, we would like to know how do we make sure yung evacuation centers po natin ay of course safe din po from flood and other incidents, at ganun din po nakakasunod po sila sa mga proper health guidelines natin para po makombat din po yung leptospirosis and other diseases.
Opo, kasi dun po sa pag-establish po tayo ng mga evacuation centers, yan din po ang bilin ng ating Pangulo at ni SND as the chair of the NZNC, na kailangan po buong team nandun po, hindi lang po yung nag-maintain ng evacuation centers, but also yung health team nandun din po. Dapat may doktor ready to prescribe yung mga necessary medicines either for maintenance or for treatment. And then may malinis pong tubig na may inom, and mga available po yung mga immediate needs, such as yung mga food items po which is being taken care of by either the LGUs or the DSWD po. And we make sure na okay po yan para pag nag-imbita po tayo na lumikas muna sila pansamantala, they will not have second thoughts of just following po for their own safety.
Alright, sige po, patuloy po kami makikipag-ugnayan sa inyo. But for the meantime, thank you so much for your time. I know marami po kayong ginagawa. Thank you so much. That was Edgar Posadas, ang Director po ng Office of the Civil Defense.
Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po kayo.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Our top story for today is Tropical Storm Enteng's wrath in some parts of the country. A man in Naga City died after he stepped on a live wire while checking his flooded store. And in Cebu City, rescuers discovered a dead mother protecting her baby from the rubbles of a wall that collapsed due to a landslide. Here's a report.
September was supposed to be the start of the festive mood in the country. But because of Tropical Storm Enteng's wrath, some families in Cavite welcomed September with their houses flooded. Residents were stranded on their rooftops. The typhoon did not even spare the evacuation center. In San Pedro, Laguna, rescuers saved some residents in a subdivision in Barangay San Antonio yesterday morning. They were trapped in their houses because of the flood. The Laguna Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office reported that 42 barangays experienced flood due to the typhoon. Meanwhile, in Bordeo, Quezon, a pregnant woman was saved after she was stranded because of the flood. Lucena City also experienced flood again. The Quezon PD-RRMO reported that 3 men are currently missing. Around 200 families were evacuated because of Enteng. A 57-year-old man died after being electrocuted while checking his flooded shop in Naga City. Authorities reported that the man went back to his shop to clean, but he accidentally stepped on a live wire. He was declared dead on arrival. In the same city, an 8-month-old baby drowned in the flood. Her parents said they did not notice they dropped their kid because they were up all night due to the storm. Over 1,000 residents in Naga are currently staying in evacuation centers. Naga is now under a state of calamity. Meanwhile, a 13-year-old girl in Cebu City died after a riprap wall collapsed during the onslaught of Tropical Storm Enteng. The mother of Jemima Ibunya said their family was sleeping in their house in Barangay Tisa when the wall collapsed at around 3 a.m.
Birthday pa lang siya yung September 13. Mag-18 na lang siya ng 13 September. Tapos yun lang biglaan.
Over in Barangay Talamban, 26-year-old Claire Dosdos died due to landslide. Rescuers found her body protecting her baby from the rubbles. The baby survived the landslide.
Sacrifice niya, buhay niya, tinakpan niya yung maliit na anak ko. Sana matulungan niya po yung mga anak ko kasi maliit pa.
Well, heartbreaking, pero yung yung parents na save yung bata. The mother saved her child from falling debris from a wall, no? Nabuhay yung bata. But ito yung mga death yung nakatapak sa live wire. Akala ko kasi before, pag nagko-collapse ang mga live wires dahil sa bagyo, may automatic shut off yung mga electricity.
Yung power supply.
Yung power supply. Switch. Kasi may trip switch yan eh. Usually, pag...
Di ba ganun ginawa ng Meralco nung kay Typhoon Karina?
Oo. Tapos may pinatay nila kaagad. Although may mga certain areas that were reported dati sa kay Karina na may live wire pa rin yung mga transformer. But unfortunate accidents to that happened. Well, there's nothing much you can say except we offer our prayers for those who are affected talaga.
Oo, naiyak ako dun sa yung sa nanay, yung protected her baby.
Nabuhay, at least nabuhay yung baby.
As a parent, diba, you do everything to save your
And she did everything
child.
to save her child because the child was saved. Oo.
Meron dun isa nag-trending. Yung aso, si Ching Ching, local hero ang tawag sa kanya. Mamaya pag-usapan natin yun na mabigay sa atin ng detail ni Dale Israel kung makakausap natin siya today. But going back also dun sa mga, ang tawag dito, yung mga nangyari, of course, yung dun sa Rizal, I wanna go back there kasi nakita naman natin yung mga landslide, biktima ng landslide doon. Di ba? Lagi natin pinag-uusapan yan. Alam naman natin yung may mga areas, yung danger zone. Hindi dapat na tinitirahan, hindi dapat maging residential area. Pero mamaya, sige, balikan natin if we still have time. But to get more information about the situation in Cebu, we have one new Cebu desk editor, Dale Israel, reporting to us live from Cebu City.
Good morning, Dale.
Yes, maayong buntag, Angela and Angelo. Yes, here in Cebu City, it's already sunny, but a few gusts of winds. But the good thing is that there are no more rains here. And since yesterday, the last rain we had was last night, and now it's all sunny here in the morning. But over the weekend, there are 2 persons that died over the weekend because of the heavy rains. But about, according to the Disaster Management Office, it's the effects of Typhoon Enteng in Cebu. 8 were hurt and 40 individuals were evacuated in Barangay Tisa and in Barangay San Jose. A 17-year-old died in Tisa and a 26-year-old mother died in Barangay San Jose. Then they were buried in the rubble from these the 2 collapsed walls. Actually, the first one in Tisa was a collapsed riprap, and the second one in San Jose was a collapsed wall, a concrete wall from a private property. Now, there are 44 individuals that were evacuated, and they are still in the areas, in the safe areas. They were brought to the centers of the barangays, and some they were living in relatives. And then until now, they're still not allowed to go back because the walls, some of the portions of the other walls, a connecting wall, is still unsafe for other families. It's actually the soil is also very soft still. And then yesterday, Cebu City Mayor, or acting Mayor, Raymond Garcia, has issued a cease and desist order in a construction site near that wall because they found out that there was a digging on that wall, near the wall. So the mayor said that issued a cease and desist order, and that the residents said the mayor did not name the owner of the property, but the residents told us that we were actually there yesterday. So the residents, I was talking to residents, and they told us that it's owned by a big businessman here in Cebu. So the mayor said that he will just name the businessman in the proper time when they get all the data, the exact data on what happened on the collapsed wall in San Jose.
All right.
Back to you guys.
Thank you for that report. That was One News Cebu desk, Dale Israel, with that report from Cebu City. Yeah, hindi natin napag-usapan about si Ching Ching.
Ayun nga, hindi natin natanong.
Hindi. Kulang tayo sa oras. But we will siguro talk about Ching Ching a little bit more.
Tomorrow.
Ching Ching ba?
Ching Ching.
Tomorrow. Hero Ching Ching. All right. Stay safe, everyone. And I'd like to leave you with a quote. Life is very interesting in the end. Some of your greatest pains become your greatest strengths. A quote from Drew Barrymore. Oo.
Si Maring Drew.
So, akala mo, hinanakit mo ngayon, yung pala, yan ang
Oo.
Na wala na ako sa Tagalog.
Yun ang iyong lakas.
Kalak-
Mapagkukuha ng lakas. But
Bukas.
yung dun po sa
Second
mga...
mile.
Oo, pero dun sa mga... Wala pa tayong second mile.
Yan o, thank you lang. Ayan,
Okay.
Oo.
Hindi, sinasabi ko lang para po sa mga updates pa dito po sa
Stay tuned to One News.
Tropical Storm Enteng, ay stay tuned po here sa mga programa natin sa One News at 1.
Kasi we will keep you updated all sides all the time.
Yun.
And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro. And he is Angelo Castro III. We are One News. Go. All sides all the time. Thank you.